Well, well, well. Good morning. Good morning. Have you missed me? Huh? Have you missed me? Jeez, it's been 2 weeks, and I told you I was going to be here on Friday, and then I never showed up, so you probably thought, well, I guess he's probably going to just show up on Monday like normal, and then guess what? I wasn't here yesterday either. Today is Tuesday, June 7th. We're finally in June, and yeah, I've been tardy, and I could tell you why. And there's no excuses. There are never excuses, but I'll tell you what my reasons are. I was in Boston. I was in Boston. I don't know why. Every time I fake my Bostonian accent, I do the Italian fingers, but I do. I was in Boston. I went to Boston on May. Oh, pulling up my calendar. May 27th. We flew out May 27th to Boston. And it was me and my girlfriend and my dad and his family. Well, I guess they're all my family too. So it was me and my family and my girlfriend. And we stayed in Boston from the 27th to the 31st. And then from Boston, we drove to Belfast, Maine. That's up in the northeast. And they have their own little song, so that's what we sang the whole time. Take a walk on down by the water. It's a good song. Belfast, Maine. So we stayed there, and the reason we went to Belfast, Maine is because my stepmom's parents, my step-grandparents are serving a Mormon mission out there. So that was how the trip all came together. And we kind of lucked out, honestly, because they planned this trip like not a year, like 6 months ago, and they invited us, and we were looking at flights, and 2 weeks ago was Kayla's graduation week. So we decided that it was not going to be good. We didn't know what her whole graduation thing was going to look like, so we backed out. And then like 3 weeks before the trip, my brother he agreed to go. They bought a ticket for my brother. He backed out. So he had this extra ticket, and it was closer to her graduation. We had a better idea of what our week looked like. We decided that we were going to fucking take the ticket. So we did. We took the ticket, we bought another one, and we went to Belfast, Maine. Pretty little city down by the water. It's a good one. So yeah, they made a trip out of it. We flew to Boston, hung out there, and then drove to Belfast, Maine. I got like 8 different keys. I'll sing in any key you want. And then we came home late Friday, June 3rd, and I almost missed my flight because I screwed up the itinerary. So, but it all worked out. I got home late Friday night, and because I was gone for 7 days, I felt a deep longing to clean some carpets. So, I cleaned carpets all weekend, and then, yeah, I guess I could have done the podcast Saturday morning. No, I couldn't have because I had to go to Ogden, and then Sunday, I went down to South Jordan. I went to Belfast. No, I went to South Jordan on Sunday, June 5th. So I decided I'll just do the podcast on Monday. And then Monday rolled around. Hey, welcome to my podcast. This is what I do. I just talk about nothing. On Monday, I had to get back into the groove, and what I could have done over the weekend, I waited to do Monday because I decided to go clean some carpets and make some cash. And so Monday rolled around, and I had to get my guy. I told you I want to do my podcast later in the day so I can do my white glove hoorahs and send my team out, and then do the podcast later, 10, 11, 12 o'clock. But you know what? Monday came around, and I'm balls deep in another project, another white glove project. So I have my guy going out cleaning all the carpets, all the jobs that come through, and then I'm cleaning storage units. Ugh, and I have little help, so all of my time is being put into storage units. So I have to be there all day long. So and Monday morning, I had to get a lot of tools. I had to send my guy out. I had to get tools for the cement. I couldn't make yesterday work. I was gonna do it yesterday evening, but I didn't get home and situated till like 7:30. And I couldn't stay. I don't want to stay up late because I have to be at yoga in the morning on Tuesday mornings. So I decided I was going to do the podcast today. And that's it. That's why I did that. That's why we're here on Tuesday. But for those of you who don't listen to my podcast often, I do it live. I've been really good about doing it live Monday mornings. Now it's going to be probably Monday sometime in the afternoon, so who knows. But it'll be Mondays. You can tune in live to check out the stream and comment on the things that we talk about. This is called Book Club with Kate and Kelly, where I read a book and I talk about it. The goal here is to be the healthiest, wealthiest, peaceful, and wisest people that we can be. So all of our books kind of focus on that. And so I read them and I talk about them for like an hour and a half. And then if this is too much bullshit for you and it's too long, then you could go check out my other podcast called Here's the Point with Kate and Kelly. And it's exactly like it sounds. I do the same thing in this that I do in that podcast, except I do it in 15 minutes or less. So you can get the juice from the book in a much more condensed version. And that's all of it's available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Book Club with Kate and Kelly, and Here's the Point with Kate and Kelly. And you can find all that on my blog. I'm doing all my plugs. Kate and Kelly's blog.wordpress.com. It has links to all my shit. And the Here's the Point gets posted to my Instagram, Caden's Podcast. So there you go. That's what we do. Thanks for tuning into the podcast. Got a few viewers. Good morning. I got my coffee. Hope you got your coffee. I fell asleep in my meditation today in yoga. That's, imagine where I would be. I probably would have slept in if I would have done my podcast last night. And that's not what we do. We don't sleep in. So cheers. But no more vacations. No more vacations for like 3 more months. I've got another trip coming up. I think it's beginning of August. So 2 more months. No more vacations. They're fun, but man, that I've been somewhere else the last 5 weekends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weekends. And I'm so privileged that I have been able to do that, but my body hurts, my mind hurts. I was hanging out with my mom Sunday night, and I was telling her that I get anxious on vacations because I love to do this. I love to wake up and work on my body, work on my mind, work on my podcast, work on the things that are important to me. And so when I'm on vacation, my attention is elsewhere, and I enjoy the vacation. Like, I really enjoyed where we were, and being with my family, and super, super fortunate. But I love my routine. I love my fucking routine. So it is what it is, But we're back. And so here's where we're at. Oh, shit. I might be doing a double header. Oh, maybe not. What was the last podcast that I did? Jeez. Oh, crap. I might be behind. Where's my podcast? The last episode I published was The War of Art. Did I miss a week of reading? 523. Oh, shit. No, we're good. So this week, last week I read. Ooh, am I behind a week? God. No, I don't. No, I don't know. I'm like panicking a little bit. I don't think I am, but I kind of feel like I am. Maybe I am. Last week, so what's today's the 7th. So I posted. Hold on, I got to justify this in my head because I thought I was still on track, but I feel like I'm behind now. I'm going to pull my podcast back up. And so I published The War of Art on the 23rd. Oh, yeah, so I am behind a week. Fuck. So this will be a doubleheader this week. Surprise, this is a doubleheader this week. So the week of the 23rd through the 27th, I read Endure by Cameron Hanes. Endure, how to work hard, outlast, and keep hammering. And then I'm almost done with, I guess it makes sense. So last week I started, May 30th through June 3rd, I started another book that I'm not going to mention yet because I don't want to get too distracted. Sorry, I got to catch up. There's no excuses. A book a week, that's the rule. So the 23rd through the 27th of May, I read Endure by Cameron Hanes. And this was a long anticipated read. He announced it like 8 months ago, and I bought the pre-sale. I got one of the first copies. Oh, he did say something about signing the first 100 copies. I don't think I've got it though. I didn't even check. I just know I pre-ordered it really fast. Yeah, no, I don't see any signatures. So, for those of you who don't know Cameron Hanes, I found him early on in this journey of reading books, and I did one of my really early podcasts was called Run the Mountain, and that came from Cameron Hanes. Cameron Hanes is a bow hunter, and he's an ultra marathoner and an author, and his shtick is run, lift, shoot. He runs a lot. He lifts heavy weights, and he shoots his bow all the time. And we'll talk more about him later. But a year ago, when I learned about Cameron Hanes, I learned about him from Joe Rogan. Who else? And he has his shtick, run, lift, shoot. And I was like, that's an awesome shtick. And he's really inspiring. He just runs a lot, and I followed him on Instagram. He's just motherfucker's always running. When he's training for his races, he runs a marathon a day. Literally, he runs 10 miles before work. He gets a little bit of work, running in between his lunch break from work, and then after work he runs another 10 miles or something. At least a marathon a day. So he's a day. Yeah, you heard me right. A marathon a day. He's crazy, but he's also considered one of the best, if not the best, bow hunter on the planet, hunting some of the hardest to reach game because of his skill. So let me tell you about Cameron Hanes from his bio, because I'm not going to sit here and suck his dick the whole podcast. I'll just tell you who he is and we'll move on. Let's see. These are not bios. Discovered his passion for bow hunting when he was 20. I think that's a description of the book. Well, I could tell you if there's not a bio. All these books, they have like a 5-sentence description of the author. All right. I'm not going to I'm not gonna do this. So yeah, he discovered bow hunting in his 20s. He's from Oregon, and he works at somewhere in Oregon, and he just become obsessed with hunting. And he says he's always loved running and competing and riding. So the riding and running and lifting have become conduits for him to become the ultimate bow hunter. So his life's purpose is to be the best hunter possible, to be prepared for every chance he gets to hunt, and then to give the animal the most merciful death. So he's, but his other accolades are worth mentioning. So he's run ultra marathons, he's run 100 milers races. Yeah, he's written other books, but I think this is the first anyway, this is the first it's more of a biography, but it's not even really a biography. It's him explaining why he does what he does, and it's because he loves bow hunting, and then how he becomes a good bow hunter is working hard, outlasting, and keep hammering. So let's jump right into his book, huh? That's Cameron Hanes. The foreword was given by none other than Joe Rogan, and the epilogue, the postscript, is David Goggins. And you remember Goggins from Can't Hurt Me. He's the Navy SEAL turned badass ultramarathoner as well. Held the pull-up world record for a while. And it was beaten by Cameron Hanes' son, Truett. So a lot of bad motherfuckers out of this line. So anyway, his book, Endure. Let's talk about it. This is not from the prologue, but I always like to establish the intentions of the book. I keep looking at this little icon that shows how many people are viewing, and I want to turn that off because it's distracting. I wonder if I can do that. It's distracting. I'm going to put something over top of it. Hold on. Let's get my calculator out, and I'll put 100 because I have 100 viewers. I'm going to put it where there we go. Okay. I love it. No more distractions. This book is about enduring today to be stronger tomorrow. Enduring today to be stronger tomorrow. A quote from Rogan in the prologue. He says, oh, no, it's not. It's not a quote from Rogan. It's a quote from some other chapter, but I put it in the prologue for some reason. Probably because it establishes the point of the book. See, my eyes went to where the counter is, and I can't see it now, and that's great. I'm going to break that habit. Cameron Hanes says, I don't know the end result, but I know how to endure the race. I don't know the end result, but I know how to endure the race. So this book is about enduring today to be stronger tomorrow. And endurance, this is a fun principle to elaborate on, because endurance to me is more about, it's not about being the best at something. It literally is just about chugging along, and it's usually unpleasant. You don't endure pleasant things, like when you don't endure watching TV, unless you really hate watching TV. You endure hardship, like waking up early, exercising, and reading and meditating, and things that aren't inherently pleasurable up front. You endure hardship, and the point of it, enduring is enduring today makes you stronger. Oh, tomorrow. Drop my phone. Gotta grab that. Enduring today makes you stronger tomorrow. So that's the point of this book. So let's talk about how Cameron Hanes endures today. Part 1 is called Pray. Oh, you know what? I put Pray. Yeah, it's Prey. Let's go, Cameron Haynes. I was like, why is it pray? Chapter 1, life is suffering. Where have you heard that before? Life is suffering. Who says that? Buddha, the Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, and Seneca, and Epictetus, and most modern day philosophers. Life is suffering. Viktor Frankl. To live is to suffer. And then I think Frankl says something along the lines of to live well is to suffer well. So life inherently is suffering. Living is suffering. Your struggles define who you are. Embrace the struggle to be above average. Period. Reminds me of a yoga memory I have. Yes. When I was early on in my yoga career, we were doing 26 and 2, and for those of you who don't know what 26 and 2 is, it's a Bikram style, and it's really difficult. And most people don't like it, and I've said before that I don't like Bikram, and I think it's mostly because it's really fucking hard. And so I was in the middle of a Bikram class, and there was a little break about halfway through, and I remember my instructor saying, "You're tired, you're sweaty, you're exhausted," and she said, "Be here in this moment. Feel what it feels like to be tired. Feel what it feels like to be sweaty and to be maybe a little dehydrated." And she said, oh, it was powerful. She said, you choose to be here. You suffer through these classes so that you can go out into the world and be a stronger person. You suffer here so you're stronger there. Is that not endurance? The point of this book, endure today to be stronger tomorrow. So, life is suffering. And from that first chapter, I wrote that you have to embrace the struggle to be above average. You endure your daily struggle. To not endure something is to either succumb to it or to ignore it or avoid it or distract yourself from it. That's what I'm getting to. I talk a lot about distractions, like the stupid viewer count that I can't see anymore, and I'm glad I can't because it's only distracting. It does nothing to help me with my podcast. Distractions are a form of weakness in some cases. So when you have to have a difficult conversation with somebody and you don't want to, it's easy to ignore that conversation or to ignore that person and to not initiate a difficult conversation, or to, it's easy to sleep in. It's easy to not go to the grocery store to get healthy food. It's easy not to do that. It's hard to go to the gym. It's hard to meal prep. Those things are hard. So that's just kind of like light form suffering. If you want to talk about real suffering, go read Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, who is a Holocaust survivor, and talks about his suffering and how in that case that was involuntary suffering. And even if you endure it with a good attitude, it didn't guarantee your survival. A lot of people died with good attitudes. So it's not about, it's like people don't get what they deserve most of the time. They just get what they get. They get the cards that they're dealt. And all we can control is our attitude. And when hardship comes up, or if we want to push ourselves, how to work hard, outlast, and keep hammering is the subtitle to the book. We have to endure some hardship. We have to challenge ourselves. So your struggles define who you are. What you struggle with is who you are. Do you struggle with maybe you just answer that yourself. What do you struggle with? Do you struggle with voluntary things or involuntary things? And how do you handle your struggles? I need some coffee. I'm talking fast. Now that we're in the book, I'm fucking talking fast. All right. Pushing above average. The only note I have is the only limitation to have are the ones you place on yourself. I suck at writing notes. I will say, too, that a lot of this book is pretty repetitive. It's really anecdotal, a lot of stories, different stories with pretty much the same message. And I didn't explain, but it's just like every other book that has 3 parts. Hey, look at that, another 3-parter. So part 1 was Prey, Prey. Part 2 is Predator. And part 3 is The Ultimate Predator. So, it makes so much more sense now that I have it's the right prey written down. So, so chapter 2, pushing above average. The only limitation you have are the ones you place on yourself. What do you limit yourself to? Do you how do you talk about yourself, especially when you're engaging in a new project or hobby or something like this? Are you do you are you like positive reinforcement? Do you like tell yourself you can do it? Do you push yourself and challenge yourself and try and fail and try again and fail? Or do you tell yourself that not insufficient, but just incapable of doing what you want to do? Do you and then never do anything? What kind of limitations do you place on yourself? Again, answer that yourself, huh? Fucking answer that yourself. Chapter 3, diving into a deep hole. If your bar is low, your results will be lower. Again, that's your limitations. How far do you allow yourself to go? And then do you set the bar, how high or low do you set your bar? I had a fun conversation with my mom and my girlfriend on Sunday about about this. So Cameron Hanes really is a freak. His bar is high, his limitations are basically non-existent, and he pushes himself really hard, and that's why he's so successful, such a successful bow hunter. He challenges himself beyond, and he tells lots of stories. Again, I'm just taking out the messages and sharing them. But he sets the bar really high, and how high do you set your bar? When I was talking to my family on Sunday, we were talking about this bar, metaphorical bar, and I was talking about my anxiety on vacation, not being able to work on myself or push myself. And I don't have like a hobby that I'm trying to be the best at. I'm trying to prepare myself for that hobby or for something. I really don't know. I just know that I feel really good. I feel strong, and I feel happier. And when I'm challenging myself physically, mentally, and spiritually, and then financially, and whatever, I love to push myself to try to find success. And especially, I don't want to. Well, okay, that's another point. I'll get into it. So, anyway, I was saying that to my family, and I think a lot of my mom was saying, well, kids your age, they they don't think about life the way you think about it. They think they want to have a good time with their friends. They want to go do stuff, and not lazy. I don't have lazy friends, but just pretty passive. They don't set the bar very high, or they don't have something that they're trying to accomplish. And I don't think a lot of people do. And most people don't figure it out till they're older. And most of my life, I've been driven to just kick ass, but I don't really know what I'm kicking at. I don't want to be the best Spartan racer. I don't train every day to be a great Spartan racer. I'm doing that because it's a challenge. I actually enjoy it. It's pretty fun, but I don't have this drive to be the best racer or the best weightlifter or the best I don't know, podcaster or the best video game player or anything. But if I did, the point is, how high are you going to set your bar, and what are you willing to sacrifice to achieve that? Because if you want to be a great bow hunter like Cameron Hanes, he says he doesn't know, like he said in the introduction, he doesn't know the end result, but he knows how to endure the race, and he knows how to work hard. So he says he gets up at 4:45 and starts running at 5, and he's up before everyone, and he's the last to bed. He just works really hard. He doesn't have this secret formula to be super successful. He just knows, I run to have endurance in the mountain. I lift so I can carry the animal out of the mountain, and I shoot every day. So I am a consistent shooter, a good shooter. How far are you willing to push yourself to accomplish whatever it is you want to accomplish? I mean, I talk about my values all the time and what I want out of my life, and most of my values resonate with, or they come down to, for the long term, I really want to be healthy and vigilant and wise. Right. Healthy, wise, peaceful, and what was the other one? Health, wealth, wise, peace. Yeah, those 4. So that's that's why I do what I do in the short term. I lift, I do yoga, I try to eat well, I read books, I talk, I meditate. But I don't have like a hobby. Like I don't want to be the best mountain biker ever. I don't know. So I'm still figuring that out. I would love to have a hobby that I just give everything else up for that hobby. So yeah, if your bar is low, whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, if your bar is low, your results will be low. What is the one thing or several things that is hindering you from achieving the success you desire? What is hindering you from achieving the success you desire? You don't need new shoes to get started. And I spelled shoes SHEWS. Yeah, I love that. I love that quote though. You don't need new shoes to get started. And I hear it and I see it a lot of the time with people I know who are, I want to start exercising again, so they go buy a bunch of new outfits. But dude, you could sweat in anything. You can work out in anything. Some clothes are probably more comfortable and more sweat resistant and sweat wicking whatever than others. Some shoes are better to run in than others. I get it. But you don't need new shoes to get started. You don't need a new guitar to get started playing music. If you have a guitar, you could get started right now with what you have. You don't need the nicest PC model or build to start playing video games or to refine your video game skill. You don't have to have the newest mountain bike to be the best mountain biker. You could get started with what you have. If you don't have anything, you go find something to get started with. But it doesn't have to be the nicest, and it doesn't have to be the newest. You just have to get started. So, yeah, but you also got to set your bar high if you want to have big results. So that's pray. Part 1, pray. Part 2, predator. Quote, if you are not obsessed, you're going to be mediocre. Yes. Cameron Hanes said that, and it reminds me of Goggins. There's a clip of him somewhere floating around on the internet saying something in an interview just like that, saying, he talks about balance. Yeah, people are like, dude, you need to have balance in your life. And I feel that a lot of the time too. You need to have balance, man. If you want to, you need to balance go work hard and go study hard, and then balance that out with, your leisure time. And that's like the Do Nothing book by Celeste Headley, right? I resonate with balance. I love balance. I feel great when I can work hard, but I can also play hard and relax hard. But not for 7 days in Boston. 7 days of relaxing and playing hard it was a little imbalanced. I got a little stressed. But when I'm home, I can work really hard, and then I want to set my time limit of working on my business for a certain level so I can work on other things that I like, and then leisure hard and whatever. But here's the difference. Here's why anyone that's exceptional at anything is exceptional, because they're not balanced. This is what Goggins says. If you want to be an ultramarathon runner, or not even the best, but if you want to be an outlier, how many people can run 100 miles? How many people can run 50 miles or a marathon? 26 miles. Not a lot. Most I've ever run was 13.1. I've run a half marathon. And that shit's not easy. But there are motherfuckers that are running 100 miles. And there's a lady that Haynes talks about running with who ran for like 4 days straight. And I think it was like 300 miles. And she collapsed with bronchitis. Barely survived it. You know, like tough mind. Tough fucking mind. And people think, oh, you're crazy. You're fucking crazy. Why would you do that? Well, people want to be exceptional. And the only way you can be exceptional is either you have the genes, like you're a LeBron James build, and then you work hard, and then you're exceptional, or you just fucking work hard. And yeah, you know what? I actually wanted to look this up. Cameron Haynes, he's not like when you look at pictures of him, he's jacked. And you're like, oh, he's got the genes. But he's not. It's not like he was born jacked. He shows pictures of him when he was younger. He was just like a scrawny, little bit overweight dude. Goggins was way overweight when he joined the military and then became the savage that he is. I don't think Cameron Haynes is very tall. Cameron Haynes is 5'8", dude. I'm fucking 5'8". But you know, he's jacked. Wow, I didn't know he was 5'8". Yeah, but here's a picture of him running his ultra marathon, super fucking skinny. And then here's one, you can't see shit because it's just me on my computer, of him shooting his bow recently, and he's dense, dude. He's so strong. Excuse me, that was inappropriate. He just, he just works hard, dude. I really admire Haynes. He's kind of he was on Rogan. I listened to him on Rogan, and that dude, he just works hard. He just lifts, runs, and shoots. That's it. So he doesn't have a lot of like context or stories or opinions of real world experiences because all he thinks about all day is run, lift, shoot. That's why he's exceptional. So again, Predator. If you're not obsessed, you're going to be mediocre. And that's okay. A lot of people are mediocre. They want balance, they want to work hard, and then they want to relax hard. And that's great. But if you want to be great or exceptional, there's no balance. It's more than 100% dedication to your craft, and then sacrificing your leisure, sacrificing your play, your relaxation, your friends, your family, your other hobbies, all for your craft, all for whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, to be exceptional at. So that mentality, I think very, very few people have it. And I think that's why there are only very, very few exceptional people. And you go watch them like Olympians, you go watch them compete, and they're freaks, and they do some amazing things, and they're the best in the world, literally, at what they're doing. And then I bet they're socially awkward in real life because all they do is what their sport is or their craft. And that's fine because they're sacrificing their social life for their craft or for their hobby or the thing that they want to be great at. That's what it takes. I agree with what Haynes and Goggins say. If you're not obsessed, you're going to be mediocre. Chapter 4, Strange and Unexplored Territory. What is your edge and how do you exploit it? Yeah, that's all I wrote. What is your edge? How do you exploit it? Maybe I think I meant like how like what's your limit? How far can you push yourself? And then how do you exploit it? How do you expose it? How do you get there and then push yourself from there? Chapter 5, don't let them outwork you. How many of you would put your job in jeopardy for your passion? Yeah, again, it's working hard and working harder than the next guy. And you know what they say? You don't have to kill a bear to beat a bear. You just have to be faster than your buddy, right? You don't let your competition outwork you. If you want to be the best at something, you got to work hard. Again, genetics and if your family's wealthy or something, whatever. Like there's other things that go into your success. But if you want to be successful and you don't have the gifts or the talent, you just got to work really hard, and you got to work. And some people just got to work harder than others to get the same results that someone who worked less hard than you. So yeah, you want to talk about the difference between work hard and work harder or working smarter? Because that's a thought that I kept having through this book. Haynes, he's just a work hard guy. I don't know how much of a work smart he is. I think he's just a work hard. But I think that's because the path to be a bow hunter in his head is very straightforward. It's just consistently working every day. Run, lift, shoot. And you just do it. You do it when you're tired, you do it when you're sick, you do it when you're injured. You run, you lift, and you shoot. That's what he says. So, how do you run, lift, shoot smarter? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he says he does all of that, and then he works a full-time 9-to-5 job. So maybe to be smarter, you quit your job and you learn how to monetize your run, lift, shoot. I don't know. You write a book and you live off of the proceeds from your book, the profit from your book, so you can focus on run, lift, shoot smarter. I don't know. He just works hard. And you don't have to work hard. You don't have to find a balance. I think I like to work smarter because I can, if I know how to optimize my time, optimize my energy, I can allocate my time and attention and energy to certain things more efficiently, so I can do it to more areas in my life. So I either do it smarter or I do it harder. I think Haynes is just hard. You just work harder, not really work smarter. Yeah, that's my thought, I guess. That's all I have on that. Chapter 5, we're going to keep going. Quote, "Those who work the hardest are successful, period." Close quote. Another quote, "Show up, work, sacrifice, achieve." Close quote. Show up, work, sacrifice, achieve. That's work harder, right? That's not real. There's no work smarter in any of that. But work harder. Yeah, you want to talk like again, my mom read this book, so that's why we were talking about this and the thoughts that came from it. We were talking about sometimes you just got to do your best. Sometimes all you got to do is do your best and just show up. And I have a philosophy on doing your best. I don't think anyone really has their best. And here's the reason why. Because think about working out. I usually do. I have a pretty similar routine through all my exercises. I will do like 4 or 5. I'll do a circuit of 4 or 5 exercises, and then do 6 rounds of that, or 5 or 4, right? And I'm so fucking tired every time, and it takes like an hour. But is that my best? Am I giving my best? If I say I'm going to do 8 reps of each exercise for 6 sets, could I have done 8 reps? Could I have done 9 or 10 or 11 or 12 reps? Could I have done 7 or 8 or 9 sets? What is my best? Could I have kept going, right? So am I giving my best in every workout? I don't know. What about in your business? Let's say you have to have you got to write or school. You get, does that make, I don't want to elaborate on it too much. I think the point is clear. You can like just showing up is enough to be your best. There's no doing your best. In my head, you either show up or you don't show up. And then what are you going to put forward from there, from showing up? So you want to be your best, then just work hard and work smart. I like to work smart, so work hard and work smart and keep going and plug along and get as much shit done as you can. And If you could have worked for 8 hours, let's say you worked for 8 hours, could you have worked for 9 or 10 or 11 or 12? But you put in 8. Did you do your best? Probably not. You could have done 9 or 10 or 11 or 12 hours. But you showed up and you worked hard. That's it. That's more important than not showing up and not working. That's so it's better to go to the gym for, let's say if your routine is normally 60 minutes, but tomorrow you show up and you're only there for 15 minutes, that is still better than not showing up. Just showing up is what's so important to me. If you don't show up, then you're not putting forth the effort, you're not making it a priority, and you're not working hard. But if you show up and you only put in 15 minutes when you could have put in an hour, did you do your best? No. If you put in an hour but you could have maybe done it 90 minutes, did you do your best? No. If you show up and you do 60 minutes and you're laying on the floor vomiting and you're so tired, could you roll over and do one more push-up? Yeah. You get what I'm saying? There is no best. There is just doing. That's my philosophy. So just do. Just keep doing and try something else and do and try again and do. He says, love the journey and forsake the finish line. Yeah, again, he doesn't know the end result. He just knows how to endure the race. Don't worry about the finish line. Love the journey. Did I say the chapter title? Chapter 6 is Obsessed or Average. Nobody cares. Work harder. Yesterday means nothing. Worry about today, and then worry about tomorrow. Yesterday means nothing. Worry about today. This is how he lives. This is his thought process. You want people to care? Then do something meaningful that people can't ignore. But if you do your work for other people and you let their opinions of you dictate whether you're successful or not, I think you're going to be miserable. I think that's Stoic philosophy, yoga philosophy. You have to do what you love regardless of what other people think. That's what makes a person happy, or rather peaceful and successful, not how they impact the world or how they make other people feel. Don't be a dick. Don't do evil. Do what's right for yourself and for the world, and don't do it for them. Do it for yourself. That's my philosophy. Chapter 7, ramp it up. I took no notes, but from the chapter title, just fucking keep it rolling, baby. Chapter 8, believe to achieve. I said, now he's kind of telling stories and saying the same thing. You don't have to do what Cam does to be a great hunter. Yeah, I've talked about that. Chapter 9, train hard, hunt easy. When alone in the cold and snow on a hunt, Cam will ask himself, is this necessary? He says, yes, it is, if you want to be great. Go through the hard shit. Endure today to be stronger tomorrow, right? You suffer now so that you're stronger out in the world. You suffer in the gym so that you go, if you want to be a ultra marathon runner, well, you suffer on the trails day in, day out, night in, night out, so that when race day comes, you could perform well, or at least that you could perform at all. If I went and tried to run an ultra marathon right now, I'd pass away. But if I show up and I endure the training for an ultra marathon, I'll be able to perform. There will always be someone tougher, and if you're the toughest person in your field, the task will always be tougher. There's always something tougher than you. That's the point. Whether you're the best at your craft in the world, like a LeBron James or a Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan or whatever, whether you're the best at your craft, then either there's someone else that's tougher than you, or the task will be tougher. And if you're if you're the best in the world, the standard is higher, the expectations are higher, which makes the task tougher. If you're mediocre, the task is what it is. But if you're the best at it, it takes all the more focus and dedication to that craft. He says, find your bow hunting. Oh, no, he didn't. I said this. Find your bow hunting is his only advice. Then, you don't have to be a bow hunter. Go find your thing. Find the thing that you will live and breathe and die for. Then if you want to become great, be prepared to sacrifice a lot. Much is lost with obsession, but also much is gained. I wrote it a different way. I said, much is lost with obsession, but much is also gained. So, find your hobby that you're passionate about. And if you want to be great, be prepared to sacrifice to achieve. Or if you'd rather be mediocre, then just go be. I'm mediocre at everything that I do. Everything that I am involved with in my life, I'm mediocre. If I wanted to be a world-class pickleball player, it would take hours of practice every day and a lot of sacrifice, personal time, family time, friend time, hobby time, work time. It would take so much more sacrifice to be a world-class pickleball player. And I don't put the effort in. I don't have a burning passion to be an excellent pickleball player. But I do like to kick my friend's ass when we play pickleball. So maybe I do. But the point is, find your thing. And if you want to be better than mediocre, you have to put in more than mediocre work, more than mediocre effort. Yeah. So, and again, I go to the gym every day and I do yoga every day. Not every day. I don't even work out every day. I mean, I work my body somehow every day, whether it's the gym or yoga or running or biking, whatever. I'm working my body every day. I also work my mind every day. I'm committed to it, and I think either it will it will translate to a hobby or a passion as I discover it, or those things are hindering me from finding my passion. I just had this thought right now. Maybe my routine right now is prohibiting me from becoming a world-class pickleball player. Maybe I do want to be a world-class pickleball player. I just haven't committed to it. Or a golfer or a musician. I've always wanted to be a really good musician. That's probably what I identify with the most is music. And I love to play music. And I don't put hardly any time into it. There was a stretch earlier this year where I was practicing every day because I was committed to it. I was also committed to writing every day on my blog. And a lot of that has gone down the toilet because I've rearranged my priorities to exercise and reading and my business. I'm trying to really be successful in my business, and the intention is once my business is self-sustaining and doesn't need my every hour attention, I can then put my focus into something, but not have to sacrifice my money. Like I could pay my bills and buy food, and not have to worry about everything else. Not have to worry about showing up for a job, rather, or committing all my time in my day to my job. Once I can, and that's such a cop out because I can. What am I willing to sacrifice though to be great at something? Do I want to sacrifice my business to be great at something? My priority is to take my business off so I can sacrifice, or so I don't have to sacrifice as much. This, I guess, in my head, this is working smarter rather than working harder. I'm working hard to work smart. I want to take my business off so that once it's self-sustaining and it pays itself off, then I can show up for pickleball or golf or music or this podcast or whatever. My online persona could write a book, could write write an album, whatever it is, so that I can be great at that and still make money to pay my bills. Does that make sense? What are you willing to sacrifice, though? Oh, look, mashed potatoes. Oh, man, Tuesday mornings now? Yeah, I had my whole spiel on that earlier. I was going to do it yesterday, and I didn't. I'm doing it today, but it's still going to be Mondays. So, cheers, and good morning. Chapter 10 is called The Last Load, and I took no notes, so I'm going to move on. Part 3, The Ultimate Predator. The Ultimate Predator. Chapter 11, The Best Never Rest. Quote, hope you do, what he meant to say was, how you do anything is how you do everything. If you half-ass anything in your life, you half-ass everything in your life. Or do you have immaculate integrity, and do you show up for your life all the time and work hard all the time? Or do you half-ass it and cheat and do shortcuts? Because if you want to be great at something, you're going to cheat and look for shortcuts at whatever it is you're trying to be exceptional at. How you do anything is how you do everything. He says his biggest advantage is his ability to tolerate pain. That is called endurance. Endure. Tolerating the pain that comes with the hard work, and that comes the pain of sacrifice. Enduring the pain to be great at your craft. He talks about having never taken his family on a vacation and has no plans to take his family on vacation because his goal is to be the best bow hunter that he can be. And any time off is time wasted in his mind. This is something else we also talked about with my mom. Time off, people are like, you got to have balance. You have to go on vacation and enjoy yourself. But not Cameron Hanes. No. All he wants to do is work hard every day. Run, lift, shoot every day to be the best bow hunter he can be. And that's what it takes to be exceptional. You accept the pains of the sacrifice. It's maybe I'm a homebody for sure. I don't love to travel. I enjoy it when I do. I went on a 5-week spree of vacations. That was way too much vacation for me, but I did it. I enjoyed myself, but I also was antsy to get back home and do this and my business again. So, but he says no vacations ever. He also talks about he tells stories about sacrificing time with his family for his objective, for his goal. His goal is to be a great bow hunter. And you can read his book and be really critical of him, say he's a bad dad, or he's a bad business person, or he's a bad employee, whatever. And he talks about the criticism he receives. And he says, I'm willing to sacrifice all of those things, my time, my energy, and my social status to be an excellent bow hunter. And again, it's paid off. He is the best, if not one of the best. Rather, he is one of the best, if not the best, bow hunter on the planet. Maybe to have ever lived. I don't know. I'm not really in the bow hunting world. Just relaying what I hear. So, yeah, you could say but that kind of comes down to your values too. He's married and has 3 kids, and he talks about his family and he says his wife being supportive of him achieving his goals is the only reason that that he's achieved what he's achieved and still has his family intact. She's been the loving and supportive one to the kids when he's been the gritty, tough dad, right? And she's been there for the kids when he's out running or he's out hunting or whatever. What are you willing to sacrifice for your goals, for your dreams? But also it comes down to your values. What do you value? What do you want out of life? And your behavior should emulate your values. So he says his biggest advantage is his ability to tolerate pain. Chapter 12, Beast Mode. His run, lift, shoot mentality is a means to an end, and his ends is hunting. What's yours? Have I talked about that enough yet? He quotes James Clear, Atomic Habits, page 209, about professionals and amateurs. And I said, this is worth reading. Fuck. Should I go get my book? I'm going to do it. I'm going to turn the music on. Give me 1 second. Pause. All right. You know what I just realized? I bet I said it's page 209 because it's page 209 in his book, not page 209 in Atomic Habits. So that was just a little interlude for you to enjoy, some lo-fi. Let me find page 209. I read this book. You know, I was traveling a lot, so while I was reading this, so I read most of it from the physical copy. Yeah, here we go. In Atomic Habits, James Clear sums up the difference between amateurs and professionals. And I talked about amateurs and professionals in The War of Art, too. Go back and listen to that. James Clear says, professionals stick to the schedule. Amateurs let life get in the way. Professionals know what is important to them and work toward it with purpose. Amateurs get pulled off course by the urgencies of life. And like, that makes, urgencies come up. You break your leg, or you have a sick family member, or your job needs overtime from you. Like, there's things that come up. And they're all legit. But what are you willing to turn? Like, do you turn those things away so that you could focus on your craft? That's a professional. That's what he's saying here. And the amateurs let life's urgencies take them off track to do this, to do whatever it is. When a habit is truly important to you, this is James Clear again, you have to be willing to stick to it in any mood. Professionals take action even when the mood isn't right. They might not enjoy it, but they find a way to put the reps in. And then Haynes says, dedication creates atomic habits like this. Being a professional means you'll do the necessary work time and time again. That's beast mode, baby. Chapter 13, hating me won't help you win. If you do what you do for praise, you will conversely be killed by the criticism. Yeah, that's what I said earlier. Do what you love for yourself, not because it gives you admiration or success or publicity or whatever. Do what you love. Do what you do, rather, because you love it, not because it gives you attention. Because, as he says, you will conversely be killed by the criticism if you do what you do for praise. He reads some direct quotes that he gets from his critics, and they're pretty disturbing about people. They're like, "Oh, you're okay with killing animals? Well, then I'm gonna come hunt you down and kill you and your family and see how you like that," or shit like that, And if you keep your eyes on the critics, or even just on anybody, on the people outside of your scope of focus, then it's incredibly distracting and will take you off course. But his objective is clear, and his criticism doesn't affect his determination, and he kicks ass. And what else can I say? I thought this book was going to be a little bit more repetitive than it was. Maybe I was being repetitive, or maybe I just didn't write down all the repetition, but I felt like this book was actually pretty well balanced. And now that I have the right part names, Prey, Predator, and Ultimate Predator. Don't be prey. Don't be, what do they say about, don't let, something about, don't let the world act on you, be actionable or whatever. I don't remember. Fuck, that was a really bad recollection of that quote. But in any case, figure out what it is you want out of life and then go do it. Go do it. You'll love it. You won't regret it. I think I'm going to probably, well, maybe not. Yeah, I'm going to do 2 episodes this week so I get caught up. So I'm not on, I'm not behind. So that's Endure by Cameron Haynes. Endure your bullshit. Work harder, outlast, and keep hammering. That's his mantra too, and I didn't even bring it up. Keep hammering. That's so whenever he talks when he replies to comments on Instagram, he just puts hammers down. Boom, boom. Keep hammering. What percentage would you agree with the principles in this book? Like, do you 100% agree? 80%? Well, I agree 100% that if you want to be exception, that was from Mashed Potatoes, by the way. Excellent comment. Thanks for chatting. I agree 100% that it takes hard work to be exceptional at your craft, and it takes sacrifice. It takes sacrificing, um, like we talked about Dr. Jordan Peterson's hierarchy. Excuse me, it's not his hierarchy. It's not his philosophy. He's quoting someone else, but I've learned it through Peterson about a hierarchy of values. So, what are your values first? Prioritize them, and then if you when you're confronted with two values, you should know which one you value more, or that you appreciate more, or that you need more than the other. So the choice should be obvious. And it sucks to neglect a good value, but it's always better to take the better value. Good, better, best. So, I might not agree with sacrificing quality time with your family to be an excellent bow hunter, but I don't have to, because that's his prerogative. That's how he values, how he that's how he sets his values. I'm just not there. I don't have a craft I'm trying to be exceptional at, so I don't make a ton of those extraordinary sacrifices. I make my mediocre sacrifices, like not playing video games at night, and going to bed early, and going to bed early on weekends. Like, my sacrifices are bullshit, basically. Uh, it takes a lot more discipline, and enduring the pains of deeper sacrifice. So yeah, I agree. I guess I agree with it 100%. I don't. Maybe I don't agree with going the exact route that he's gone. I don't know. Maybe I do. I think I agree with it. At least I appreciate it. Like, I'm not critical of, because if he started sacrificing quality time with his family for bow hunting, and his wife's like, "I'm gonna leave you if you keep doing that," then he's got to decide what's more important: my wife and my marriage, or bow hunting. And then again, he's got to make that call. That's his call. That's just your. And then, let's say he gets a divorce, and now he's just by himself, and he's out bow hunting. Whatever. That's. I think I agree with it. I think you could be more responsible, or you can be irresponsible. But I I don't know if you were here when I talked about how this kind of goes up against Do Nothing, the book Do Nothing by Celeste Headley that I talked a ton about. How she's like, you need to have balance to be the happiest person you can be. I agree with that too. I think the happiest person isn't an extremist. They're not obsessed with their hobby or their passion. They balance it. They work really hard on their craft, and then they balance it with uh, personal time and vacations and family time. But like he says, and Goggins says it as well, and I agree with this. If you want to be exceptional, if you want to be the best at what you're doing, you have to sacrifice those things. You have to sacrifice personal time, leisure time, the life balance that people talk about. You have to sacrifice that to be. You have to be obsessed with your craft. So, yeah, if you want to be exceptional, you're not going to have a balanced life unless you're naturally gifted or rich and can afford to not have to put in crazy amount of extra effort, like working a job to pay your bills while you're a bow hunter. Uh, Mashed potatoes. Yeah, I wish I heard the whole pod, but I think I'm probably more in the Celeste camp. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I really think people they live more peaceful lives that way. Um, and hey, guess what? I'm gonna be doing this after I end this stream. I'm gonna be doing the Here's the Point 15-minute episode that you can go check out. If you missed the earlier stuff, you don't want to listen to the first hour of this. So that's coming up right after this. In 4 days, maybe 2 days or 3 days, I don't know what day I'll do it, but I'm going to do the book that I read last week, which is called Your Money, Your Life by Vicki Robin. We're going from bow hunting to money talk, baby. 9 steps to transforming your relationship with money and achieving financial independence by Vicki Robin. Yeah, money books. We'll talk about it next time. You can wait for me on my live stream to pop up. I'm not sure when it'll happen. You can follow me wherever you're listening and then turn on your notifications and you'll see me pop up and you can tune in. Or you'll see the episodes pop up on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I've just been posting them right away. I haven't been waiting 24 hours to post them. I don't know why I was waiting 24 hours anyway. So I'm just posting everything after I download it and upload it to my podcast software. So check it all out as it comes out. Look for me in a couple days, and we'll be doing Your Money, Your Life by Vicki Robin. This week, to wrap this up on the Cameron Hanes note, go do something that'll kick your ass, and spend some time thinking about what you value, and then really you got to decide: do I want to be exceptional at this thing that I love, and am I willing to sacrifice these other values to be exceptional at this? Or do I want balance? And then, it sounds negative, but am I willing to be mediocre at this thing that I love or average and also have a well-rounded, balanced life? I guess that's one good way to look at it. Look like a scale. You can balance all of the things that you love in life and they'll all be pretty even. You'll be average at everything. But if you put more time and energy and attention into one thing, the balance becomes off, and whatever you're not putting attention to, you become worse at. And whether that's other hobbies, whether that's your job, whether it's your relationships, you'll you'll start sucking at those things as you become better at the other thing. When I was out in Maine with my step grandparents, we met some families that they were teaching and listening to their conversations about church and stuff, and I haven't studied the Mormon lesson, the missionary lessons in a long time, so I'm super rusty. Especially with church, just all church stuff in general. I don't pay attention to doctrine at all. And that's a consequence of not being engaged in it. So my attention's going towards other things now. Towards health, wealth, peace, and wisdom, baby. That's where we're at. So consider, are you willing to be average at all things in your life, or do you want to be exceptional at a few things and then pretty sucky at the rest? That's up to you to decide. Right now, I think I'm a little unbalanced. I'm leaning heavily towards health, wealth, peace, and wisdom, and I'm sacrificing relationship, like time with my friends and time with my family for those things. And I'm working towards my business too. That's another thing. That's the wealth part, I guess. Wealth. So that's where I'm at. And I'm happy. And I also kind of kick myself a little bit, think that I'm kind of a wiener because I turn down, I don't really turn down invitations, but I leave parties early to go to bed. And, like we went to dinner on Saturday night and I wanted to go to bed so I could get up and go to work. And, I feel like a wiener, but I'm consciously making those decisions. I'm not letting life run my life. I'm not letting life happen to me. I'm making conscious decisions every day with my life, which has way better results than letting life happen to you. So that's it. Check me out in a few days. Find my blog, cadenkellysblog.wordpress.com, to find links to all my socials and the podcasts and all of that. And we'll be here in a few days. So I'm not Cameron Hanes, so I'm not going to end this podcast by saying keep hammering. But basically that's what I'm trying to say, and I don't have another way to say it. So go work hard. I guess I'll just say that. Go work hard. Go figure something out that you love. Put some more time and energy into it. And if you want to be exceptional at it, accept the pains from the sacrifice that come with it, and you'll be great at it. You may never be the best at it, but you'll be better than you were. It takes a lot of hard work and sacrifice. All right, until then, we'll see you next time. Thanks for showing up.